answer some questions here. And we knew we were going to do this, so we had 3 folks from Customer FX at the Infor conference in Scottsdale, beautiful Scottsdale. It's always nice and sunny. And so we had a contingency there, and each kind of had our marching orders. And a lot of that was in preparation for today's presentation, which is all about us sharing with you what did we learn while we were there. It was a lot of fun, to say the least, and we learned quite a bit. Got to meet a lot of customers who were invited for the first time, and all indications are it's going to happen again next year, bigger, better. So I believe all that's going to be true. So if we get right to it, the questions we try to answer for you today is, what does the roadmap look like? What's the future of Infor CRM? Not only from a product standpoint, but as a company. We're going to show you some of the updates to the user interface and the branding changes that are occurring right now. There is definitely a technology vision for Infor CRM, kind of the bigger long-term picture that we'll talk about. There's also several new features that are planned for the end users, administrators, and developers. And we're going to show you one of those tools at the end of the presentation today that you can download. We'll give you the link for that. We're also going to talk about how is doing business with Infor different from SwiftPage. There are some differences, but everything we've heard from them is all about not being disruptive, trying to keep things as much the same as is possible to do. So we are not going to be announcing any big changes in doing business, just sort of a progression and movement over to the whole Infor culture that you'll be experiencing along with us. So the first thing we want to talk to you a little bit about is, what did we learn about Infor, the company? Who are these guys? What are they all about? What's their plan? They're a huge, huge multi-billion-dollar software company, and they purchased SalesLogic's software company in order to incorporate that product into their suite, their portfolio of best-of-breed business application software solutions. So that's their plan. They're also, by the way, switching somewhere around 2,000 or 3,000 of their employees over to Infor CRM away from Salesforce.com, which I think is great. That's probably going to be one of the larger installations of Infor CRM out there, but they said they eat their own dog food, so they're going to be making that switch as well, which is cool. They've got somewhere around 73,000 customers. Obviously multinational around the globe. They are the 3rd largest business application company and the 3rd largest private tech company. The only 2 companies that are larger than them in this sector is Microsoft and Oracle. So they are ranked number 3. And as you can see, they have somewhere around 7,000 customers and 13,000 employees and over 1,200 go-live implementations. Here's just a screenshot of some of their high-profile customers. This is fun to see. These are all the organizations that use some Infor product. Hopefully, many of them. Well, in fact, I do know that several of them on the screen already do use SalesLogic, and so you'll see probably more and more of those transition over as we go forward. You'll also see that they are divided into various business sectors, everything from manufacturing through distribution, healthcare, services, hospitality, and others. We'll talk a little bit about that strategy here in the next slide. So the Infor company has seen tremendous growth. They're doing a lot of things right, which is driving a lot of growth. They've grown at a rate of 3 times their peers, their competition. As you can see on the right-hand side, there are a lot of firsts in their industry, adopting the cloud as a platform for implementation, lots of open source infrastructure, lots of industry-specific suites, and they also own their own creative ad agency, which we're going to talk a little bit about here too, and why would you care? So we said they're number 3. Number 3 as far as size in business application and private technology companies, and 400 products, 7,000 customers, and thousands of employees. this is what I wanted to show you. We heard a lot about this at the Scottsdale event, and that was about they really believe that business application software needs to be beautiful. User adoption is a problem for most organizations, not just in CRM, but with all software applications, and they know that. So they actually own their own New York design firm that is actually made up of movie producers, fashion designers. They rattled off several different key individuals that make up this hook and loop company that have nothing to do with software, but those people are on board because part of their mission is to make Infor CRM beautiful software. So this is just a screenshot of some of their other solutions and what they look like. And I do think it is beautiful software. They do a great job of presenting it in a way that makes it appealing and interesting to me. I would want to use this software. So that's part of what you're going to see as I move forward here in what Infor CRM is going to start looking like. Hook and Loop is already underway rebuilding the SalesLogix user interface. And so we're going to show you some of what that looks like. This is just a screen that talks a little bit more about one of their other strategies, which is micro vertical markets. Everybody knows Infor CRM is a wonderful platform. It does a lot, has great functionality out of the box, but every company we've ever worked with has to make some kind of modifications to it to really fit their business. So it's sort of like buying a suit off the rack and then having the tailor make some alterations so it really fits you well. And that comes at a cost, and everybody's weathered through that. And so what their plan is, and they are doing that with their other business applications, is they're going to be coming out with vertical specific layers that go into Infor CRM that are driven by specific requirements in these various industries that you see here. And they may mention one that made me laugh because they actually have one planned for the microbrewery industry. They actually have some customers that are in that industry, and they explained to me that, yeah, we have some very specific requirements and things we need to track and manage when it comes to microbreweries. And so evidently that's a growing enough industry where Infor has said, well, we're going to make a version of Infor CRM that's pre-customized and pre-built for that specific industry. So I love this idea. So hopefully the result of this is better software out of the box for the industry you're in, and far less about having to build customizations either yourself or through your business partner. So total cost of ownership hopefully is going to be much lower than it has been in the past. We're going to talk a little bit now about what's changing for you as a customer, what you're going to see that's different about doing business with Infor versus SwiftPage, the previous owner of the SalesLogix product line. And so Bree is going to do a little demonstration of their new Infor Extreme portal. So what you're looking at on this slide is, first of all, there's a new URL for the customer portal, and you see that here. Now, if you haven't received the emails and you are listed as the contact at your organization with SalesLogix, you should have already gotten these 3 emails they're showing you on November 17th and 10/22, 10/7, and 10/16. So they're telling us here, hey, we sent out these communications to the contacts for everybody that is a SalesLogix customer, and it's announcing to you the existence and transition process over to this Infor Extreme portal. And again, Bree will show you that, but that is the soon-to-be new customer portal that's going to replace the current SalesLogix customer portal and training portal. So we're going to give you a little sneak peek into what that looks like.
All right,
so
Scott.
as I mentioned, there's a new training site. So I'll switch it back to you, Bree, and you can take away with your little tour of the Extreme portal.
Okay. You should all see my screen now.
We do.
Okay, good. And I am just about to log into the Infor Extreme support portal. And this is going to be replacing your customer portal where you normally go to log your support issues. So let me get logged in here. And you should now see the support screen. And I'm going to mention a couple things before I delve into this. Right now, as you can see, I have an incident logged already for myself, and that is my incident dropdown is not showing add. There should be a drop-down item here that says add, so that I can, from the website, add an issue that I'm having. I have that reported. It's not resolved yet, so it won't be able to take you through that. However, I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of some of the main features. You'll notice that there's some suggested articles here that are relevant to SalesLogix. These were pulled over from the old system, and so you're going to see it's referenced as SalesLogix still here going forward. You know, most of these new ones are going to say Infor CRM. A handy little knowledge base. And let's just say I'm having an issue with XBAR. I want to see, you know, if it's common, somebody else has had that issue. And that's going to pop up for you, give you some options. Obviously, you can try and solve your problem first before logging an incident. And then something that I like is that when I logged my incident yesterday, I had to contact support. And since I couldn't do it online, I had to give them a call. And it's very easy to find the support numbers. My call was handled right away. I didn't have to wait on hold forever. And they also have a feature that I like, which is chat. So if you have an issue you think might be able to be resolved quickly, don't feel like calling, you can go ahead and, you know, put together your issue, your question, and send it into chat, and somebody will help you out. So that's another handy feature of the Extreme Support Portal. And then I am going to be showing you the new Infor Campus, and that is where you will go in the future to sign up for training, look for classes, etc. But right now, if you do require any training before December, I don't have a hard date of when they'll have that campus open with Infor CRM specific training. You're going to come into the support portal and look for training classes there. And it's taking a few seconds to pull up here, but I'll hopefully be able to show you in a second what that's going to look like. Here it is. Okay, so as you'll see, it's all still labeled SalesLogix, but they do have, and this is Anytime Learning, these are not instructor-led, your cloud training, which I have opened here. There's also developer training. So I mean, a lot of the classes that you would have found in the old SalesLogix training forum is you'll find right here at the Infor Extreme Support Forum. So that's all I'm going to show you here. Like I said, since I can't walk you through logging in an incident, but then I will come over to the campus. And before I log in, I just want to point out a couple things. They do have a very nice tutorial that'll take you through step-by-step every portion of the Infor campus with great explanations. And then also the customer course library. Let's say you just want to see what's available, but you don't, maybe you don't need to log in and scroll through everything. You can just open up the course library, and that will show every course for every one of their product lines. So let's log in here. And right now you should be seeing the home screen of the Infor campus. Breaking news on in the middle on top. They just redesigned this for all their product lines. And then along the side, you will see that there are a couple different boxes. The Infor Education blog I have up top. These are their latest posts. Down here, I can open this up and show all my courses that I'm enrolled in, and then subscriptions, which is a training feature I have down here. Now, if I just wanted to always come in and just see my courses right on top, I can move them. There it is. And so everything else is pushed down below. And when I log back in, these changes have saved. So then quickly, I'll just go through my courses is where you'd go to see any class that you're enrolled in, any course that you have started but not finished, and if I had finished one of these, it would say complete. So obviously, I have a lot of courses and a long way to go. But then we'll come down to the course catalog, and like I said, the Infor CRM training is not available here yet. You see CRM, this is not for Infor CRM. But if, when that is available, I believe sometime in December, you'd come in here, you'd type in Infor CRM, and it would bring you to the courses that are available. Subscriptions, as I mentioned before, are something that companies can choose to do where you would get access for, say, a group of users to all the course material related to a particular product over a specified period of time. And what's nice is that if you have multiple products that are from Infor, you can sign up for and have multiple subscriptions going so that, say, you have some users that need to get ramped up on ION, which Scott is going to talk about later, an important feature for Infor. So you'd like some of these people to get ramped up in ION and some of your new users to get using Infor CRM. Your calendar is exactly that. It's going to be a calendar of all the courses available, day, week, year. The courses that are listed here, however, are just instructor-led courses. And so they're live, they're for specific dates. This is not going to show your anytime learning. Course history is pretty much just like my courses, except for a little bit more detail. It's going to tell you when you completed. If you wanted to, say, export a list of all the courses you've taken and completed, you could do that over here. And then search, again, once Infor CRM classes are here, the search category is going to allow you to do a bit more specific search, like, say, as an example, you want to search for XBAR. It will then pull that up, and you don't have to go through the course catalog and search that way. But that's pretty much Infor Campus and Infor Extreme Support Portal in a nutshell. So Scott, I am going to turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some of the other changes that you're going to expect to see are all of the current business care plans are transitioning. They're renaming them, and this is just sort of a little guide about what they're going to be called. There are some more details that are coming. They are changing up a little bit about what's included in each of these plans. So there's going to be some adjusting. None of that's been finalized yet, but we do believe there are going to be some changes coming. So those of you that are familiar with gold, silver, bronze, and cloud support and so forth, those are going to be renamed, and we know that that's going to happen sometime over the course of the next 6 months or so. So I wanted to show you this today because I think at some point you can expect that instead of getting an invoice from SwiftPage for gold support, you're going to be getting an invoice from Infor for extreme premium support. So it's going to be renamed and probably look a little different. And as we learn more about what the changes are going to be to these plans, we'll post those on our website as well, because we know there are going to be some changes. They're trying to get this program, the business care program, to be more lined up with how support programs work with the other Infor products. And from everything Brianna and I have seen so far, it's all good, all better. They're going to be offering 24/7 support, which they haven't in the past. And they're even going to have what they call Extreme Elite, which includes a dedicated Infor CRM tech support person that is in charge of your account. So that's going to be kind of the new top-level offering for support plan. So we'll keep you posted as more of those details become available. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual sessions that took place at the conference. And so during the conference, there was actually 3 different tracks that you could follow. So at any one time during the day, there was actually 3 different rooms in the hotel that were full of people who were attending one of 3 tracks. And those tracks were focusing on what they call thought leaders, which generally were managers or the owners of a SalesLogix partner company. They also had one for technical people that was geared toward developers and techie types. And then they had a 3rd track that was really geared toward the administrators, people who are doing the day-to-day administration and upkeep of Infor CRM. So Customer FX had, of the 3 of us that went, we all sat in one of these 3 tracks so we could come away from that hopefully having a lump sum of everything there was to learn in our heads so we could sort of bring that information back to you. And one thing we're going to offer here is if you want, Anna is going to type in this little tiny URL at the bottom. And so if you want, you can download all of the handouts and all the PDFs that were given to us at the conference. And so they've made those available for download. It is one great big zip file, but that's okay. You can pick and choose what you want. So if you look in your chat window, you'll see that URL. You can click on it right now, and you can download the whole thing if you want to see all the handouts, all the documents, all the presentations that were shown to us for all 3 of the tracks. Please go ahead and take advantage of that. We'll post this on our website as well with the same links. So if you were in the Thought Leader track, or if you're interested in seeing what was taught in the Thought Leader track, here's a list of the PDF documents that are going to be in that zip file that I just mentioned to you. If you were in the Developer track, these are the handouts that were there, along with some other sample products and things that they used during the development sessions to work on. And then finally, the Administrator track. Here's a whole bunch of documents with just tons of great information that you're not going to find in a user guide or any other place that I've ever seen. So this is a lot of net new information that I've never seen before. So I'd really encourage you to download it and just see what's valuable to you as you kind of peruse all these documents. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, well, what's going to change with what was SalesLogix, now Infor CRM. As I mentioned to you, Hook and Loop, the New York design firm owned by Infor, is rewriting the Infor CRM user interface. Why? Because they want it to be beautiful so people will want to use it. And so this is what it's going to look like. And you can see it is called Infor CRM. This is what the new dashboard view looks like. It's very, very nice looking, I think, very logical to me when I look at it. And the next screen I'll show you is the account screen. So this is the out-of-the-box account screen. Now what you don't see on here is the nav bar. And so the nav bar is actually dynamic in that, no, this is just a screenshot. I can't show you it doing it. But if you were to hover your mouse in that gray area on the left side of the screen, actually the nav bar slides out from the side. You can click on the destination you want to get to, and then the nav bar slides away from the screen again, so you aren't staring at that if you're not actually trying to navigate somewhere else. So this is a very simplified view, and you can see that right now it's they've shifted into a read mode, so we're looking at the screen in a read mode. But you also see a little pencil there that lets you shift into the edit mode. And what they're trying to get away from is having to have screens pop up to make changes and having you click the save button to save what you're doing. And so this is the read view. I love this. You click on the pencil, you make your changes, you click OK, and you're back to the read view, and everything you change is going to be retained there. So you'll also see down below a couple of the typical tabs that you would see are listed there, and this opportunity one has some little KPIs there. I wish we would have seen a lot more of the new UI, but unfortunately, I just don't think they were quite ready to show a whole lot more. But here's enough just to give you a little sense about what the new interface is going to look like. They're also rewriting the mobile to kind of look like what you saw in that web client application. So they are changing the style of the mobile suite and mobile solution. So this just gives you an idea of what the new mobile will look like. And then the next topic we're going to switch to is, okay, well, what are some of the new features that are coming and some of the new strategies that they're adopting? And one of the ones that all of us came away with that we were really excited about is called ION. And Brianna talked a little bit about ION, and well, what's ION? ION is Infor's integration solution. So a big part of their strategy, in addition to being micro-vertical, is that they want all of their business applications to synchronize with each other and communicate with each other and share information. And they absolutely have the DNA and the underpinnings to pull that off. And the centerpiece of that is their product they sell called ION. And ION is their central database storage engine that allows all of their business applications to serve and consume information from all of the other ones. And so we're going to explain a little bit more about that in the next couple of slides. So this is kind of a graphic of what ION is. So ION is this circle in the middle of the screen, and it is a big data warehouse sitting in the Amazon cloud. They are Amazon's biggest customer, Infor is, and so they are using the Amazon data warehouse mechanism to store. If you were to be an owner of Infor ION product, all of their current applications are ION enabled, and Infor CRM is soon to be ION enabled. Well, what does that mean? That means that if you want to store data that currently sits inside of Infor CRM, you can pick and choose what type of data you want to serve or publish up to the ION cloud. Now, why would you do that? That's so that other business applications can then subscribe to and consume that data. The most common example I can think of is most companies love to have their ERP software integrated with their CRM software. So the difference is, instead of Infor CRM connecting to your ERP software directly with some kind of middleware software that's monitoring changes and pushing things back and forth and trying to reconcile all that data, everything pushes up to the ION cloud in little tiny XML documents. That's their little container they use as XML documents. And so if you've got that turned on in Infor CRM, based on what you told that you want to publish to the ION cloud, that information is going to be in that cloud, and then your ERP system can subscribe and consume that, and vice versa. So it works with other cloud apps, it works with mobile devices, and it also powers their business intelligence tool, their analytics and reporting tool. They have that as well, and that is also powered by all of the data that sits inside of this ION data cloud. So what exactly does ION do? As I said, it's a big storage container of everything that's been published up there from all of your business applications. In addition to just storing data and making it available for other systems, it also has workflow and process monitoring features and functionality built into it. It also has notifications built into it, and event management, like I said, rules-based notifications and alerts. So if something appeared in the ION cloud that you were looking for or weren't expecting, you can program it to let you know that something has happened. And then there's also the ION Pulse, which is a messaging system that's part of it that moves the information through and is responsible for connecting the applications and components. And again, all of the Infor products themselves are already ION enabled, but it also has the ability, using the technology connector, which is their API, it allows non-Infor business applications to connect to ION. And so you have that capability as well. You don't have to own an Infor product in order to leverage what this ION data cloud can do. The next big application that is going to be integrated into Infor CRM is what they call Ming.le. And Ming.le is Infor's version of Chatter or HipChat or Microsoft Messenger or Yahoo Messenger. There's a ton of those kinds of, point-to-point, person-to-person communication solutions, so we can get rid of all the emails that are from our internal company and or customers. And so Infor CRM is soon going to have complete integration with this Ming.le platform, which again is Infor's proprietary collaboration tool. The other thing we saw, and Brianna and I were just talking about that earlier, how excited we were about their marketing solution. I can't tell you a whole lot because not a whole lot was revealed to us, but as you know today, Infor CRM has Swift Page e-marketing, and many of you on the call may use that today for blasting out emails. They also have a wonderful integration with a product called Sales Fusion, a very highly integrated e-marketing and nurture marketing platform that's integrated with Infor CRM. Infor has their own big, rich marketing solution that is also going to be completely integrated into Infor CRM. What Brianna and I saw there actually was sort of mind-blowing as far as what it was capable of doing and what it could do. Stay tuned for more to come as we learn more about this tool. But it is without a doubt the most sophisticated marketing solution we've ever seen. The fact that it's going to be totally integrated with Infor CRM is just gravy. So that is coming as well. Part of that is what they call the Infor Interaction Advisor. And so not only is it an e-marketing or nurture marketing solution, it also uses ION and integrates with Infor CRM. So here's another screenshot of Infor CRM in the cloud. And in this particular example, this is based on one of the salespeople who's using Infor CRM, Lee Hogan, and he's placing an order, or one of his customers is placing an order online. He's doing some suggestive selling. This is one of the cool features we saw that we wanted to show you. So we've got a customer here who's ordering a grinder and a concrete saw, and because of that, this interaction advisor popped up a screen and said, look, there's 4 other products we recommend that other customers like you have purchased. So as you can see here, it's proactively doing some upsell enticement by saying, we recommend that you also buy a drill and a circular saw to go with it because you seem to fit the kind of client who would want those kinds of things as well. So this is just one example of what their marketing solution can do, and in real time actually do upsell type suggestive selling. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about core CRM enhancements. We talked about some big add-ons and big strategic changes. Now we're going to talk a little bit more granularly about, in the short term, what you're going to see coming. So we sat in on several presentations where they talked about the roadmap for improving user adoption, and they are aggressively working to come out with configurable workflow and notifications and approval natively inside of Infor CRM. Also contextual charting, improvements in ad hoc reporting, and also scoring and badging based on certain thresholds and key indicators within the database about how active is a lead being, that kind of thing. So this is certainly one of the areas where SalesLogix is a little bit behind our competition in that we don't have a built-in workflow engine. Some of you who are still in the land probably are using contact processes, which was a kind of a workflow engine. And those of you that own KnowledgeSync know that you can, purchase a third-party tool that can do notifications and approvals. All of that is planning to be built in as native functionality in an upcoming release of Infor CRM. Now, does that mean you don't need any third-party tools? I doubt it. I don't think it would be as sophisticated as you can get with third-party tools, but I'm thrilled to say they're finally coming back with some kind of workflow engine and automated processes in the SalesLogix product natively. A couple of changes we heard about for mobile is email integration. I love that because everybody communicates with email, and I know that when I use my iPhone and I use SalesLogix and I want to send one of my contacts an email, it'll do that, but then that's the end of it. It doesn't remember or record in the history that I sent that person an email through my phone. Well, it's going to soon. So they're working on an Android solution and an iOS solution to where they're closing the loop. If you're in SalesLogix, you send an email through your mobile device, it is going to record that back into the history in CRM, which it does today with phone calls, as you know, for those of you who use it. That's not easy to do, but they did, talk about the fact that that is a huge want, and they are going to get that done. And then offline data is coming too. It works wonderfully as long as you're connected to a live data connection. If you don't have a live data connection, you can't use mobile CRM. Well, that is coming too. So they're going to be creating an offline storage engine, which allows you to either through rules or through ad hoc mechanisms store data on the mobile device when you are offline, make changes to that data when you're offline, and then have those changes synchronized back to the central database when you're back online. So they absolutely see that as a high priority to kind of shore up their mobile solution. The other thing we saw was the next generation exchange integration. Even though I think SalesLogix has a wonderful Outlook client-side integration, it just doesn't work for some companies under certain circumstances. So they've had an exchange-level integration for many, many, many years, kind of getting, a little bit outdated and not really a modern technology. They have rewritten that whole thing. It's now all powered by S-Data. It's all based on server-side syncing. The other cool thing is it works in the cloud now. And it doesn't care if your Exchange server is on-premise or if it's hosted. It doesn't care where your SalesLogix is, whether it's off-site, on-site, or in the cloud. Based on how it connects to everything, it's going to work. And we're excited to see this come out. And this is part of how they're going to be resolving the email integration for mobile as well. So expect more information about the next generation Exchange integration that's coming. Okay, the last thing we're going to show you today is what we call the performance tool. And Bree is going to type in for me, if you would, the URL. If you want the performance tool, and I think you are going to want it, go ahead and click on the link in your chat window to download that performance tool. And so it is a standalone Windows application that you can run if you're an administrator, and you can, which I'll show you here, do some really cool things to make your SalesLogix web implementation really fly and perform as best as it possibly can. So they've taken everything they've learned over the years, all the techniques and best practices, and they've sort of said, okay, here's a tool to make this really easy for you to make all the same changes we make all the time to make our customers happy with performance. So please download that tinyurl.com Infor Perf tool, and I'll show you briefly what it does, and then we'll get into Q&A. So what does it do? It tunes the database, it tweaks the web server, and that gives you performance improvements. Here's what it looks like. One of the things we find continuously with our customers, and so does SalesLogic's tech support, is their indexes are not optimized. And so it comes with all the standard indexes for 8.0 and 8.1, and it allows you to compare your indexes in the database to the standard ones so that you can see if you have an index that's bogging your system down or isn't optimized correctly or shouldn't be there, or if it's some legacy index from some old version of SalesLogic that never got dealt with as you went through various upgrades and so forth. So it can not only get rid of indexes you don't want, it can add in the indexes that are supposed to be there. And so in a future webinar like today, we're going to dig in and really show you this thing in action. We're going to do some comparisons of before and after of how a system performs using this tool. It's also got a group optimization tool built into it. There's a lot of problems people have with groups, bad groups, too many groups, poorly constructed groups. Just one thing that SalesLogic's Infor CRM's group builder doesn't do is it doesn't police you. It lets you build bad groups. It doesn't say, whoops, this is not a good group, this isn't going to work right. It goes ahead and lets you build whatever you want to build. So after the fact, if you do suspect you have problems with your groups, you can come in here and see and work on what's going on with your groups. Another thing that needs care and feeding that most people probably don't even know about is Speedsearch. Speedsearch is the universal or global indexing engine that's powered by Ask.com, which is licensed by Infor CRM. So if you use Speedsearch, which everybody does, it builds its own indexes and allows for rapid retrieval of data based on keywords and phrases. That can get pretty messed up over time and tax your system and shouldn't. So this is a way for you to, in this particular tab, do some maintenance on the Speedsearch engine and indexes. Another part of it, we're almost done, content expiration for the website. This is another optimization trick. SalesLogix has a web cache server service. It sits on the server and loads in memory commonly used images, scripts, code libraries, and web pages, so that every time your users are clicking on a new screen as they navigate around in the web client, it's not relying on such a big chunk of data having to come from your server to their desktop, right, their browser. So the whole caching engine is designed to store commonly used objects in RAM memory, which can instantly deliver that content rather than having to pull it out of the database and run the hard drive and kind of makes everything slow. So this is a way to get really fast performance out of certain parts of the SalesLogix interface without having to hit the database so hard. So it speeds up SalesLogix significantly if you optimize it in the way they show you here. And then the last one is Precompile, or second to the last. Precompile is when you reboot your IIS server, if you've ever done that, you know that the next time you log into SalesLogix, it's really slow. It takes forever for every screen to load, and that's building up that cache I was talking to you about. So it doesn't cache anything in the SalesLogix cache server until somebody asks for a page to be loaded. Then it caches it, but it takes forever. So the precompile function caches the whole thing. Push a button, and it caches the whole website into memory so that you don't have to rely on your users to click some screen to get the cache to happen. Again, just another performance shortcut that makes a noticeable difference in happy users. Finally, we have logs. There's logs all over the place in a Windows server. We know that. And sometimes you got to dig around and try to find, well, what log am I looking for and what is it related to? So they actually have a logging screen here, or a screen that looks at the logs and lets you segment those out. So it only shows you the logs that are related to SalesLogix. So it helps you maybe do some troubleshooting and examination of what's going on in your system. So anyway, that's the performance tool. I wanted you to have that today. Click on the link, download it. It's all yours. There's a little document in there that sort of steps you through a little sample of how to use the tool. And by all means, let us know if you have any questions. Okay,